there's lots of conversations recently about deepfake technology, where artificial intelligence can be used to create fake but highly realistic content.
So imagine seeing yourself, explicit images of yourself online, but they're images that you never took.
That became a terrifying reality for our next guest, Kirsty Pellant. During an horrific ordeal, her social media photos were stolen by a former colleague and manipulated to make pornographic deepfakes. He then continued to post them online.
Kirsty joins us now to tell us more. Good morning, Kirsty.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being here and just talking to us. Yeah, and talking to us about it. Let's go back to Valentine's Day 2017. That was kind of when it all started.
Yes. Yes, so I had a Valentine's Day card put through my letterbox.
Yeah.
Thought it was really random at the time, didn't know that doesn't normally happen to me. So, yes, all a bit odd. And then it was not until a little bit later, towards the end of the month, that I then had a message through my LinkedIn, my professional LinkedIn page, to ask if I'd like the Valentine's Day card. And it was a shame that we hadn't been able to meet up. And I was thinking, I don't know what this is all about. So then said that to this man. And he basically was saying, it just uncovered everything, that there had been so much out there about me, that he had actually been conversing with who he thought was me, but obviously it wasn't. So from that point, it completely snowballed. Obviously, I went to the authorities to alert them. And it's just been a bit of a whirlwind since, really.
So you had this message from this stranger on LinkedIn, which is a professional business social connection site, which people will be aware of. Fascinating that he felt like he could track you professionally through a pornography site and then come to a LinkedIn. Like, the fact that they knew you, they knew your address, like a card got put through your letterbox. I find that worrying as well.
Yes, so apparently the address had been given to him from him.
So this person that created these profiles had given him the actual address?
Yes.
So when you start looking at what it is he's talking about, what did you discover, Kirsty?
I discovered that I was on so many inappropriate adult sites. Obviously, I've got well, not obviously, but I don't have any inappropriate pictures. I just don't have anything like that. But it was my head and shoulders off my profile pictures on Facebook that had been taken, and then some of them have been adapted. For example, there was one of me playing the Malteser game, and then because I'm blowing like that, that has then been changed into something completely different. But it was, as I say, it was the way it was very cleverly done, with keywords that were insinuating that I was something that I wasn't, that I was inviting people around to do different things.
I mean, these pictures that were created, too graphic for us to be able to show.
Absolutely.
What's that like, looking at a picture of yourself which you know has been taken, and understanding there will be hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people looking at this picture and it not being you and it being in that pose?
Logically, from where I am now, in a much different place, you can absolutely understand it, and logically you can see that that isn't me. But in that time when you're literally floored, because, I mean, I completely changed as a person. So when you see yourself, it's like your mind completely messes with logic, because you're having to... I mean, another thing was trawling through all these sites as well to find myself. So when you're looking at inappropriate content with your face there, and then there were videos as well of this lady from back in the 90s who was dark, slim, a slight build. She was, again, doing videos. That's what she did, but it was portrayed as if it was me. Oh. So, as I said, it does something completely strange with your brain, because you're almost thinking, I was feeling guilty, I was feeling ashamed, dirty, even though I knew it wasn't me. It was the portrayal of it all, I think.
I think also what was so hard about it was what you did as a day job. What were you doing at the time?
So I was head of inclusion and welfare. Well, actually, when I started, I was welfare manager, but I had links with safeguarding at that point, and then I went on to become...
At a school?
Primary school,
Primary school, so little ones.
And so did you start to see, because obviously there's what you've seen yourself and what you know yourself.
Yeah.
And then you're meeting people all the time, parents of the children that are at your school, etc. And you must be second-guessing all the time. Have they seen pictures of me? Do they believe it? Do they think they're fake, or do they really think it's me? It must be so hard.
And I think at the time there was quite a period that no one knew about it. It wasn't public knowledge. So I was just speaking with the police and trying to get on top of all that had happened. It did then get leaked into the local community. It was on, you know, every place has a Facebook residence page, and it was all over there. And if I can say anything to anybody about, you know, how many times we have to listen to about being kind, and if you've got nothing nice to say, then don't say it, because that was probably just as damning and damaging as the actual crime itself. Having people saying to me, don't touch her hand because she might have something, or, I mean, it was completely inappropriate. I had a journalist call me at the school to say, why should you keep your job in safeguarding? How can you prove it's not you? It's so unhelpful. And it's, you know, when you're a victim of something and you're experiencing that kind of almost like harassment in itself, isn't it?
Well, did that journalist then go on to do a story about how you were completely, your profile was...
I don't think they did, no.
That's disgusting.
I don't think they did.
That journalist should have done that.
Yeah, because it's also like you're being attacked both ways then. Yeah. You're being attacked by the community and the people that you know, but also by this guy who's putting out all your information out there. You must have felt so frightened.
Frightened, alone.
Not safe.
Not safe at all, because, I mean, the police at the time had said to me, it's likely to be somebody in your close circle, which obviously I thought anyway, because a blog had been created and a website. So it was literally following me of all these things I was supposedly doing, going to a pub and then, you know, sleeping with different people. It was all documented as to this amazing social life I had. And I think it has just been very isolating.
So, Kirsty, how did you then find the person that did it, and what happened?
Over a long, long time, a lady from Cornwall, another victim, had come across a fake Facebook profile of herself, and one of her fake friends on this fake profile, keep up with me.
Yeah, it's hard.
She also thought was a victim. Because of the way our names were on there, there's certain photographs. It takes a lot of research to try and get to the bottom of it. She contacted that victim. I knew that victim, and we'd already been linked anyway, so she then contacted me. We thought, brilliant, because fast forward now to September 22. There was still more content out there as well, actually, that we hadn't seen before. So we then thought, brilliant, we have all got a mutual friend in common. This can't just be, you know, a coincidence. And went to the police at that point, and it just wasn't hard enough evidence for them at that point.
So you thought you had them, you had this mutual thing,
so excited.
And the police went, no, it's not enough.
No.
And that's 5 years, Ben, since that story. I mean, that's so long.
So what was it in the end that was enough, Kirsty?
So the victim in Cornwall saw another victim in Cornwall, alerted her. She was closer to John. She then contacted the police, and that lady then found 9 USB sticks with lots of content on it. That was then the hard enough evidence to bring him in. And then I think it was March 23, he was then charged with the offences for us.
We just put a picture up of him there. This is the guy that did all of this to you. What was he to you? What was your experience of him in your life?
So we worked on one case study about a child that was, I think she was a child in need at the time, and he was a class teacher. So we basically had one piece of work together. He was a colleague at our school. Quite often, in the first year, he was on a different site to me. And then the second year, we were on the same site, but there was minimal contact. So he wasn't even on my radar.
No motive?
No.
Nothing.
And has he ever explained why he did it? To you
I
and
haven't
the other
seen him. So when I attended court, it was via video link, so I still didn't see him then either. But I do in the future, I would encourage a restorative conversation if that's at all possible. Nearer the end of his... I think you just want to know why.
Of course you do.
And you want to have your say that actually this isn't OK.
So you'd like to meet him at some point and understand that?
Wow.
I mean, it's got to be him willing to do that, but yes, absolutely.
You're incredibly strong and very brave.
Thank you.
It helps you process, I guess. Kent Police have said that they carried out an exhaustive and thorough investigation into a report of online harassment, which was received in February 2017. The victim was kept updated throughout. We're pleased the case has now resulted in the offender being jailed for these terrible offences. We hope the sentence helps the victims as they continue to live with the long-term impact of these crimes, which is exactly what you're having to do. You are still living with this and what you went through.
And there's a bigger story as well that obviously we don't have time to talk about today, but there's still ongoing issues for some of us, which is not OK.
Kirsty, thank you for coming in and being brave and sharing your story, because undoubtedly it will help people that are out there today. And,
I mean, the key thing for us is that we want change. Things have got to be better. And if there's a way that anybody is in contact with the MPs for safeguarding, Jess Phillips, and I think it's John Healey as well, we would really encourage a conversation, because there's bigger safeguarding implications that we want to discuss.
Yeah, there needs some more protection.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out, and we'll see you in the morning.